Hey everyone, welcome back. Now, previous video showing how I bought this BMW Isetta model kit by Revell. Pretty much been playing around with it a little bit and gone ahead and got the body itself painted, which went for this, I guess, very bright mint green with the black two-tone, which it feels like a very classy 50s style. Now, of course, was originally thinking of going for the white roof with the red side, but I feel like it's a nice combination. It's just very generic, I found. So pretty much went ahead with this combination, as think what did originally paint it the green with a dark green accent, but figured try something different. So this is technically like the second or third time painting it, which is pretty good, though it's a little bit, though when after masking I had a little bit of overspray on some of the parts. I mean, it's like whatever, might go back, touch those up. Pretty much started going around with some silver paint, accentuate the trim around the windows and the window gasket itself. So it's been working pretty good, and to my surprise, like the front face of it opens up quite nicely. Currently just got the window pushed into place, so then just need to snip the support braces out, probably clean up the inside here with some touch-up paint, fill this in, yeah, get that all together. And then roof there, I do have pieces here just about ready to go get painted, but both roof pieces, like you have the flat roof, but the flat roof here which just sits on top. Let's see here, there we go, fits on like so. Or you have the retractable roof, where the roof's just sitting off the car, giving the full convertible feel. Which it's nice to see model kits when they give you extra parts to show with it. Then I got the interior and chassis here put together. The interior I'm thinking about might do like black accents, but just do the bright green interior for the seats and upper deck here for the luggage compartment. So overall it's quite simple. Then got the steering column here, which is a nice system, how they have it, where have like a pit, how it's like, you know, like a joint here, and then you have the shaft here, so that when get the door here, actually let me just clip this off real quick. So yeah, here, door here, so that the ball joint here clicks into the door, so that the steering columns lined up when the door's closed, and when you open the door, the steering column tilts away as it does with the real car. So quite a neat model itself. Not really much there for the interior except for detail, but it's a fairly simple car. What do you really expect? And got the chassis here mostly together, like got the rear axle, which this all just gets painted one color. Then got the engine just sitting in place, which will be a mix between silver and black, depending on what system, or depending on which one's easier to mask off and which one's easier to paint. So yeah, been working pretty steady. To go ahead as well, get the pad printed tires, or not pad printed, get the solid tires, and then went with the decal provided, did the outer ring, so that when after things all put together, just slide everything together like so. And then probably get the rims painted as well, match the green, sticking with the theme of course. So yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. And then some of the parts here, like some of the chrome accessories. These I'm leaving together, paint these all silver. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. And then it'll pretty much be a case, put the chrome parts on, get the headlight bezels, get everything put together. So it's been mostly a bunch of small stuff. Like the chassis really is only like a couple pieces. Like the steering itself is probably the majority of it. So it's just a case like get this, paint the underside the matching black, and then go from there. So yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. So probably get this painted here right away, and then figured instead of doing like multi-part series, might as well get this painted, and then might be a couple days here, so get this painted and see how everything goes together. So after a little bit of playing around, finally got the Isetta here now all put together. Now it did go together quite easily, and like everything just really fits into place. Now for the chassis, there's a couple notches underneath where the chassis and interior slide into, and then the interior chassis assembly slides into the body, which fits in quite well with very minimal fitment issues. So pretty good. And then of course I have the set of roof pieces here which can swap out, though I'm keeping the folded back roof on for right now, as the folded forward cloth top did end up getting a hole in it, as when I was painting it, glued a piece of styrene to it to work as a mount, which I'm sure you do for most pieces, but in the process of trying to trim it off, it ended up snapping all the way through. So with the upper cover on, you can see through the main body of the car. So not entirely pleased about it, but it happens. And then it's pretty subtle. And then the only other thing here that I'm probably going to have to touch up later on is the engine cover. Actually, it's like a little bit brighter than the rest of it, as there did end up getting a bunch of wrinkles in the paint, which not really pleased about, but it happens sometimes. So there's the engine there, all good to go, along with the transaxle, running gear, and then exhaust system. And the door pretty much just pop from the inside, have everything tilt outwards. Fairly simple interior, didn't go too crazy, as there's not really a huge amount of detail, though did go with the checker cloth fabric design for the seats, even though not totally feeling the effect with it, but looks better with some detail, whether instead of just being one full shade of green. Yeah, and got the steering here, which folds in quite nicely, just like on the real car. You open the door, steering wheel folds out so you can get inside, which have a 1/24 scale figurine. So just fits in like so. And just close the door in behind. Though of course, place a little bit too small to reach the pedals, which I mean, when you're pretty much small size, does end up happening over time. Let's see here. Get that closed off. A couple pieces I did go for went for the eyelid style bezels, as the kit gives you a style between the flat headlight bezels and the custom lenses here. Though one thing I did find once after putting it together, got the side lights here put on, which I basically just went with some red paint, which amplified the color painted from the black or from the back. So reflects better, especially like on the back as well. Make it look like it was molded in red instead of just being solid, like a solid clear color. Now, something I did realize after I put everything together is there's actually a separate piece, for like a bezel, that goes on first, and then you put the lens over top. But not really too concerned about that, as it's pretty much been like 6 weeks since pretty much putting this all together. Want to get this out sooner rather than later so I can then get some more projects on the go. Also have the suitcase here, which was looking at getting painted up, but just haven't had the time to get that painted up. However, it does fit quite nicely on the luggage rack, as I also do have the cables here, which got the one here which slides in through the back, curls up and over. So does it, can I get it to hook in? There we go. Yeah, so it just hooks in like so, and get the other one. Hook it in through the back, slide it in, slide it up over. There we go. We'll probably have to, okay, probably have to re-glue the luggage rack back into place, as it's a fairly tricky setup, being only 4 very tiny locating mounts. So yeah, now of course there's going to be a few imperfections with this, but overall I'm quite pleased with how this is turned out, and I believe this is probably the second BMW I've ever built in model form, as first one I really built was a BMW 635 CSI, which was a monogram kit from back in the 70s. Now I've built a few other German vehicles, like mostly Volkswagens, so having something like this to build up is quite neat. Now, the only downside about it is, like with the white wall tires, they're the vinyl. Okay, there's the luggage rack. I'll just put that to the side. So, yeah, with the white wall tires, because it's a decal, and the tires being quite pliable, chances are if you put the tire on the rim first, that works out better. As otherwise, if you put the decal for the white wall on the tire first and then try to stretch it over the rim, it's just going to end up cracking and make a mess everywhere. So that's what I'd recommend in order to properly build one, or at least from what I found. So yeah, it's quite a decent little kit. Now, of course, being 1/16 scale, considerably larger than your average 1/25, 1/24 scale, but I don't have really any with me, but the 1/16 scale cars are usually like a foot and a bit in size, so this is going to be quite a small model compared to most builds. Like if you're used to building American cars, this is going to be a lot smaller. So yeah, quite an interesting little thing, and then being a piece of little German heritage of small economy cars from after World War II. Yeah, so it's a neat little thing. I think that's probably covered most of it from me. So probably got, like, there's a couple other projects I have on the go that I'm looking at taking care of, as it's pretty much getting to middle of summer or close to end to the summer. So get a couple projects out before it gets too cold to do a lot more projects. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. So see you next time.